Jesus. Mr. Lattimore, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Our first segment is Understanding Singer slash Songwriter Kenny Lattimore.
When did you begin your singing career?
Well, my first memories of really taking music serious was at about 12 years old. My mother asked me if I wanted to take voice lessons, and I didn't quite know what voice lessons were, but it was another extension of school. It was another extension of learning and being the best that I could be. So I said, hey, I'll go in and check it out. So what they taught me in voice lessons was how to breathe correctly and how to approach singing in a technical way so that I could perform and do what I did consistently and with perfection every time.
As a young adult, what musician did you admire and why?
I grew up listening to my parents' music growing up. That's why like Shaka Khan and Stevie Wonder, artists like that. What I did love about those artists were was that when I listened to them, it felt like there were no boundaries to how they sang. They could sing a song and blow it out and be really funky with it, and at the same time, they could caress a slow song and make it, really beautiful.
How did you feel when you signed your first recording contract?
It was incredible. The first recording contract was actually with the group Mannequin that you mentioned in my bio, but when I did my solo album contract, it was even better because it was almost a validation that I was okay, that I was on my right path.
You were nominated at the Grammy Awards. What was going through your mind at the time when you heard about your nomination?
When I heard about the nomination for the Grammy, it kind of took me off guard. I didn't listen to the announcement of who was nominated that particular day because a lot of times when the awards come out, it's all through the news. But what happened to me was I was sitting at home in the bed and I got a telegram from my record company that I had been nominated, and my heart started beating because that was one of the greatest goals on my list, or highest goals on my list, was to actually be recognized by my music community, because that's pretty much what the Grammys are, is the top songwriters and singers in our community, my peers.
If you had to select one word to describe yourself, what would that be and why?
I usually use the word sincere because everything that I do, I try to give from the heart, and I try to be as authentic as possible, no matter what I do.
Are you fearful before you got live for a concert?
Wow. You know what? Sometimes, I have to admit, I still get nervous, and why that happens, I don't know, but a lot of the experts tell you to use your nervous energy and turn it into positive energy, and somehow it helps to make the connection with the audience that much greater.
Over the years, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned from the music industry?
To actually learn about the business, because if you don't learn about the business, you can be taken advantage of, where the creative portions of the music industry is just a small portion of it, going and trying to do a hit record. But there's so many contracts and deals and things that you are able to go into as a result of your success. And in order to make the right decisions, you have to know as much about the business as possible.
We are going to take a quick break and we will be right back. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Elihan TV on Ustream and the District 9 Network. I'm your host, Sierra Mitchell.
I'm your host, Denisha King.
Our show topic today is how to be a great musician.
Joining us as a guest on the show is Kenny Lattimore.
Our first segment was Understanding Singer slash Songwriter Kenny Lattimore.
Our second segment is Things You Should Know Within the Music Industry. What advice would you give someone who is looking to be a great musician?
First of all, to focus on the education of music and making sure that you are true to yourself, that you find your sound and your own individuality.
Many people aspire to be great musicians, but they have no idea how the music business works. In your opinion, what are some steps you should take before you begin your music career?
Along with learning how to be creative and be an individual, you would want to learn about contracts and staff, like the people that you need around you, because everybody who has a successful business has to have great people around them to help them to live out their idea or to work out various details of their idea. So what I try to tell people is do great in English, do great in math, because there's lots of money to count if you get it right and you have success. And just the basic skills really help you with I think getting acclimated into the business, so that when people come to you with a contract and they ask you to do a concert, or if they ask you to do an appearance or what have you, and you begin to go down the details, you want to understand what you're obligating yourself to.
How do you protect your singing voice?
I protect it by sleep. Sometimes you got to just rest. Sometimes you really, really have to rest. But in addition to that, if I'm getting ready to do a show, sometimes I will have hot water and honey, things that help to lubricate the muscles. The vocal cords are just muscles, and they're rubbing together and they're making these sounds. So in order to keep them at their best, what I do is try to use natural ingredients to enhance that.
Do you need a lawyer if you decide to become a singer?
I think that you need a lawyer if only when somebody really is presenting information to you that they want you to sign. If somebody presents information to you or some kind of business where they need your signature, is when you would need an attorney to look over whatever you're going to agree to. You want an attorney to look at.
If you are a singer, how important is traveling?
Essential, mandatory. You have to, in the event that you want your career to be as big as possible. Some people may not. Some people may say, I'm okay with singing at church, which is wonderful, or singing in my community, which is also just as important. But if you want a big career, you want to think globally. You want to think the entire world.
How has the music business changed over the last decade?
We have a tremendous amount of technology. So a lot of people who used to depend on big record companies to promote their music, now a lot of things you can do on your own through the internet. I think that is the biggest change, is that now you can record music yourself. Some people are even recording on GarageBand and with your iMac, things like that, and they're able to produce the music easier because of the computer technology as well.
Over the years, what lessons have you learned along the way about the music industry?
That it's going to always change. There are lots of politics that go into the music industry as well. So I can't judge what I do based on what anybody else does. I have to always try to be the best me that I can be. I learned that, some people are going to get, even with awards and things, that we're just ending award season. Some people are going to get awards and we're going to say, whoa, that was great. And then some people you're going to say, why did they win that award? Or whatever. Some things are about relationships and the favor of God and man. They're things that you can't always control, but if you do your best, then you can always rest assured that you will get the best out of what you do.
Interesting facts about the American Civil War. Hi, this is Candace with your Elliott High News Report. Stonewall Jackson, one of the South's greatest generals, was killed by friendly fire. Lincoln dreamed of getting assassinated only a few days before he was killed by John Wilkes Booth. Only 1 in 4 Southern farmers owned slaves, but it was the rich and powerful farmers who owned them. In the first few battles, each side did not have regular uniforms. This made it tough to figure out who was who. Later, the Union would wear dark blue uniforms and Confederates gray coats and pants. Interesting facts about the American Civil War has been brought to you by Elliott High Network. I am Candace with your Elliott High News Report. Now I'm going to swing it back to Studio 1A with the Elliott High radio crew.
We are going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
This broadcast is being brought to you by the Elliott High TV and Ustream and the Dishes Knowledge Network. I'm your host, Sierra Mitchell.
I'm your host, Dadisha King.
Our show topic today is how to be a great musician.
Joining us as a guest on the show is Kenny Lattimore.
Our first segment was understanding singer/songwriter Kenny Lattimore.
Our second segment was things you should know within the music industry.
Our third segment is Anatomy of a Love Song by Kenny Lattimore.
Tell us about your new CD, Anatomy of a Love Song, which can also be purchased right now on iTunes.
Thank you very much for that. The Anatomy of a Love Song is out now, and it contains about 14 songs that were really heartfelt. I wrote on some of them and assembled together producers that I thought were great producers that I'd known through the years to help me to just talk about some of the ups and downs of love.
In addition to being a singer, you are also a songwriter. Talk to us about the benefits of being able to write your own music.
When you write your own music, that means you can own your own music. That's a different income as well. So not only are you songwriting and taking the benefits of being creative and telling your own story, but owning that music means that anytime anybody else sings your song or plays it, you get paid money. You get royalties for when your songs are on the radio.
If someone is interested in booking you as a guest, who should they contact?
They can contact my office, which is simply info@kennylattimore.com, or go to kennylattimore.com, my website, and all of my contact information is right there. And I'm also on all of the social medias, Twitter and Instagram and all of that. But at my website, kennylattimore.com, there's a contact section, and people can click there and get information.
You'll be performing at the Bethesda Blues and Jazz Super Club. What goes through your mind 1 hour before you go live for a concert?
I think an hour before I go live, I'm always thinking about how do I connect to the people? How do I tell my story? How do I enhance their lives? Because they've spent their money and they're spending their time to come and see me. So I want the exchange to be something that people really feel is beneficial to them. So a lot of that's going through my mind. I'm praying about that before I go on.
Do you have any final thoughts for the students at Elliott High?
Sure. I love the fact that you have this facility and your teachers have done an amazing job, because I have been interviewed by lots of different networks and things, and you are doing this top notch. I love every segment, and I think it's very complete, and I have enjoyed this whole experience and seeing how you are working. I see the behind the scenes, and love it. Congratulations.
Mr. Lattimore, thank you for being a guest on our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh.
Sorry, no, thank you.
This broadcast is being brought to you by the Elliott High TV on the Ustream and District Knowledge Network.
Have a great day.
Question.